Hello, and welcome to another Mastering TalentLMS webinar. Today, it's part two of the Learners Experience Masterclass, during which we'll be acting as admins, setting up the portal on what we showcased in the previous webinar. But we'll get to that in a bit. So let us first introduce ourselves. My name is Irini. I'm a Senior Customer Enablement Consultant, and I will be hosting this session live alongside with my colleague Anastasia.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anastasia. I'm a customer enablement consultant, and I'm back with Irini today to explore insights into the admin setup experience this time.
And before we move on here, just a reminder, this webinar is recorded and will be sent to you all by email. So keep an eye on your mailbox after we're done. And a live Q&A will be taking place during the session. So feel free to ask any questions about Talent LMS. Our own Theo is already here and will be answering questions during this session in the background. And some of them will also be answered by us live. So feel free to use the Q&A button in order to ask us your questions. And of course, you can post anonymous questions as well. Now, as we mentioned at the beginning today, we'll be acting as administrators, setting up your platform, our platform basically, on what you viewed in Learner's Experience Masterclass, The Learner's Journey. Theo will be posting the link of part one in case you missed it, so you can revisit it. So let's see what we will cover today. Now, we will start this conversation, this discussion, and we will learn how to create an informative homepage for our learners. Then we will move on how to organize and deliver courses to our learners, and we will shift the discussion later on with top tips for engaging learners with your portal. And of course, the live Q&A that will take place after that. So let's get started and allow me to share my screen. So when the users land on your homepage, by default, what they will see is this simple homepage with the box of username and password, which of course they can log in by filling in their credentials. So as an admin of the system, though, you can customize this landing page and make it more attractive and engaging. The magic happens here from the accountant settings and the portal tab. And we will go all the way to the branding section and click here on the custom home page. Now, at the moment, we have played a little bit. We have created our own custom home page. But in your case, by default, the system will add a banner section and a course gallery section as well. No worries, though. We'll explore the buttons one by one. So here on the bottom, we have the different buttons that will allow us to add sections. And of course, we can combine different type of sections to create an attractive homepage. Starting off with the banner option here, it gives us two fields, the headline and subtitle, and of course, the area where we can upload our own image that will work as a banner. Of course, we have the option to include a call to action button where we can give that a very certain label name and include also and attach also the URL that the users will be redirected once they click this button. And of course, we can also select where that button will be left. And a divider as an extra option to be added below the section. Just to give you a sample of how that would look like, here is our own banner section. If I click edit, the headline and subtitle are blank at the moment because we have included our welcome here on the actual banner. As you can see, we also have the information of the exact size of that image, and we have also included our own call to action button, which is this button here. Now, next we have the text option that will allow us to include text sections in our own homepage where we can share any information we want with our users. And of course, right next to it, if I click it, again, the headline and subtitle available with the area to add our own text and a format bar. And of course, in case you want to combine text and media, there's the single button here, which we can basically do that. Again, headline and subtitle available. And we have the text tab where you can include your text here and the edit bar, and the media tab where you can drag and drop your image or your video, or you can also paste the URL. Again, the call to action button available and the divider. Just to give you a sample of this, this is our own text and media section. If I click edit, you see that we have included a headline at this time. This is our text. This is the media part. We have included a URL, a YouTube video from our own YouTube channel. And of course, by the time you do so, you have the option to select whether that media will be on the left side or the right side of that text. Again, we have added a call to action button here, and the divider available at the moment is not enabled. Now, right next to the text and media button, it's the course gallery. This type of section will allow you to advertise your courses. Again, headline and subtitle available. Only here you can select up to 12 courses on this drop-down menu, and the divider option below the section. A sample of that is this. So we have showcase here only 4 courses, but it will look like this. Now, what happens if you want to include more courses? Just add another course gallery section. You can combine different type of sections all together. And lastly, the key points. Now, this is something that we will create together. If you want to combine text with images in a very specific format where you will have on the top the image and below the information, maybe you want to share some values of your company or some metrics, you can do that with this method. So I'm just going to click here the section. I'm going to skip the headline and subtitle at the moment and click Save. And now a new section has been added here where I can start adding my own text and image. So if I click here and click the edit button, I have the area here where I can drag and drop my image. So I'm just gonna drop it, oops, like this. I'm sorry. Let me just try one more time. Here it is. Of course, I can zoom in or zoom out if I want to get a very specific type of that text, of that image. Save the changes. And here, I'm just going to add the title of that key point. I have something already here for you prepared. And here, the text, basically. So I'm just copy this one. Oh, let me remove this. I'm not going to add any call to action button. I'm just going to save. And that key point will look like this. And of course, you can add more key points if you want to and have a longer list. Now, this little gear icon, if I click it, it will allow me to add more pages because at the moment, what we have created is the main page. But what if you want to add more pages? Maybe you want to create an About Us page or an FAQ page like I've done here, which would look like this. This is something that you can add through the settings. So if you click here and click the Edit menu, and click Add Menu, the system will allow you to either add an entire page where you can give a title and the URL will be generated as well, or a link. Now, in both cases, you have the option to select if this page will be visible before or after the login. And, sorry, let me move that out of the way. And of course, this will be included here as our homepage. Now, if you have been with Talent LMS for quite some time and you have been working with the legacy interface all this time, but now you want to explore the new interface, of course, you have the option to clone the legacy homepage and save time. And in case you want to start from scratch and you don't want to delete the sections one by one, just discard all sections from here. Now, during this customization process, the preview button is available, so you can follow up the page at any point. So this is how our homepage looks like. And of course, once you're all set, the button here will allow you to publish your homepage. That is, replace the simple version of it with the custom homepage. And this is what your users will see once they type in your URL. Now, what happens if you want to make any changes? Just make sure to unpublish. The simple homepage will now be visible for every internet user. Make your adjustments and make sure to publish again. And with that said, I think it's time to go to Anastasia so we can discuss the course organization and delivery.
Yes, thank you, Irini. Let me just share my screen. And there we go. Okay, great. So, in our previous session of the learner's experience, we demonstrated how learners can get courses. Today, let's see how admins can set that up. Organization is the key, right? So let's see how we can organize our courses with categories. Categories help admins structure and manage their courses more efficiently, and they also work as filters for the learners, like we demonstrated in our part one. You can create categories based on different criteria, like topics like sales training, compliance, or maybe different departments, marketing, the IT department, or generally any other relevant theme. Now let's go to create a category together. Click on the account and settings and go to the category option and just click on the add category button. Give it a name. Today I'm going to create a category about the soft skills training and click save. Now, if you want to create a subcategory, since this is also something feasible in TalentLMS, make sure to select the parent category from here. I don't want to do that today, so I'm going just to create the soft skills as a category and not as a subcategory. There you go. We have just added it in our categories list. And here we can see all the categories created. And you also can edit or delete accordingly your categories. Now, next step is to add the courses under this category. So let's go to the courses. We can click on this course to edit it. And from the course options, from the course details tab, we have the category section here. So let's select the category we have just created and save. Now, this is one way. Another way is that you can go back to your courses list and you can select all the courses that you would like to add under this category. And as soon as you select various courses, the Mass Actions button will appear here. And you have the option to add to category. You can find it here. And you can add it just as we did before. But now you have added various courses under this category. And this is an option to save time. Now, let me change my role to learner because I want to share two tips, two notes here with you. If a category does not have any courses assigned, then it will not appear in the course catalog, in your course catalog here. And if a course is not added to any category, then it can be found under general here. Okay, now let's switch back to admin and shift the conversation to groups. A very popular feature in TalentLMS, since you can use it for organizing and delivering courses. Imagine that you have a set of courses that are meant to be assigned to a group of people. This is where the groups step in, since you can bring these courses and users in the same group and with one single button, perform a course assignment en masse. Now let's see how we can do that. To create a group, just click on groups and go to the add group button. Give a name to your group. I'm going to create a group under our department today, so customer enablement. And at this point, just let me add something. You can create groups after users that will be added inside that group, or so that we can have a group for team leaders, supervisors, or you can also create groups under the courses. After the courses, they will be included. For example, we can have compliance courses, soft skill courses, or you can also create groups after different departments. And this is what I'm going to do today. So a group after our customer enablement team. And here at the description box, you can also add a description about what this group is about. And this is not a mandatory field, but it's a good thing to have since this is going to be information visible to all admins and instructor roles. Now click save. I'm not going to add the description today, so I'm going just to click save and create my group. And now the system will take me to the users so that I will start adding my users. But a good practice is to start with the courses first. So go to Courses tab and click Start adding the courses. And to add the courses, it's really easy by clicking this button. Let me add these 4 courses for my customer enablement group. And once I'm done with the courses, I will move back to the users and add the users. So from my users list, I'm going to add these people that are part of the customer enablement team. Let me add one more. Perfect. Once I have added also my users, then from the Mass Actions button, I will enroll all users to group courses and apply. There we go. Now, you might have noticed that these numbers have changed. So what these numbers mean? The second number is the number of the courses we have added in the group. And the first number is the courses that the users are added to. At this point, allow me to add that once you must enroll the users, their progress on the existing courses is not affected at all. Now, this way is that we demonstrated is one quick method to save time from assigning courses to users rather than enrolling them one by one. However, in our previous session, we demonstrated how learners can also get courses on their own. Now, for standalone courses, make sure that the course will be active and visible in the course catalog. And to ensure that, we need to go to our courses and edit our course. And from the course options, just make sure that this option, the hide from course catalog, is disabled like this. And from the availability tab, just make sure that the course is active. So the option needs to be activated like this. Uh, Again, we can also save time. And from the from the courses list, we can click various courses. Okay, and again, the Mass Actions button will appear, and we can also select to activate them from here, or so on course catalog from this option here. Now, what if you want your learners to get a set of courses with a group key, as we mentioned in our previous webinar? In this case, we need to go and create a group with just courses. So now I'm going to create a group for the soft skills training. Okay, this time I will click. So now let's first save it, add the courses like this. Okay, this is my soft skills training. And now let's go back to the Info tab and click to assign the group key. As you can see, a random key is generated, but you can also just modify it and make your own key. And save. Okay. Once you share the key with your learners, they can add it to the Join Group field, like we have already demonstrated, but let's show it again one more. So as a learner, they need to go to My Groups, and from here, click the Join Group, enter the group key that we showed before, and that we have shared with our learners, and click the Join Group so that the learner is going to be added to the group and to all the group courses automatically. Let's go back to admin and give a bonus tip here. If you want your users to be enrolled automatically in courses upon registration, you can utilize the default group. Again, you will create a group with just courses, like we just did, and then go to Account and Settings, the Users option, scroll down and find from the user defaults the default group, and select, for example, the soft skills we have created, and save. Now, every user added to the portal will be also added to the default group and will be assigned to all respective group courses. And with that said, Irini, I think it is time to start with our top tips for engaging learners with TalentLMS portal. What do you think?
Definitely. So I will take over and share my screen. So let's see what I have for you today. Communication, as we said, is the key here. We also highlighted it in our previous webinar. So, as we demonstrated on part one, learners have access to discussions. So, let's see how we can create a discussion, because this is the area where the learners can exchange comments and replies and express their own ideas and all that in a single page. In order to do that, I need to switch as an instructor role, because this is accessible from the instructor's dashboard. And I'm talking about this bubble icon here. By the time you click it, you will see the list of all the discussions that have been created so far, and some details like the title, the who created the discussion, the timestamp, and of course, the search button is here in case you have a long list of discussions and in case you want to sort them out differently, exactly like we've seen on part one. So if we click new discussion here, the first thing we need to do is select the audience who will have access in that discussion. By default, every user can see this discussion, no matter what is their role they have. But you have the option to control the visibility. So if I click here, we can share this discussion with specific users based on a course. So I can select here the course, and that means that every user that has been enrolled to that course, whether they are an instructor or a simple learner, can actually see that discussion. Or if I go further down, it also gives me the option to do that by groups. Now, a note here, since I'm acting as an instructor, the list of groups that will be here will be the ones that that I'm acting as a group owner. And we also have a third option here. This is a private topic. Maybe you want to create a discussion where only instructors will have access to, because maybe you want to discuss and exchange ideas about the course delivery. Just select this private topic option here. Of course, you will give your discussion a subject, the message, the format bar is also available here. You can include links and images, and you also have the option to drag and drop files that will be downloadable from the learners. Click the post and you will end up with a discussion like this. I'm just going to click here, the learner lounge. This is the topic. It has also been included an image, and then the learners can start commenting on that discussion. They can also replying certain comments. They can like comments, and you as an instructor have the option to edit and delete comments as well. Now, what if you want to be notified about every new comment that has been added in your discussion or reply? Since you have created the discussion, automatically you are subscribed to it. But if you're interested to be notified about other discussions as well, just make sure to click this little bell to subscribe in these discussions. And of course, just to give you a sample of how a discussion with restrictions would look like, for example, this one has the marketing label here, which means that all the marketing people that belong in that group will have access in here. And this one is a discussion where the audience has been limited to based on a course. Now, apart from the discussions on part one, we've also discussed about the conferences and how the learners can access the calendar and join conferences. Just to give a little bit of context here, the conferences are independent live sessions that you can host within TalentLMS. They're optional to attend because they're not mandatory. They're not training material. They do not live within a course. Therefore, the attendance is optional. Let's see how we can create a conference. Again, this is accessible only from the instructor's dashboard. So I'm just going to click here and click Add Conference. I'm going to give my conference a name. So let's name that All Hands Meeting. You will select the date, let's say for the 28th, and let's say at 10:30 p.m. Set up the duration, and you can also include a description. I'm just going to skip it for now. Click the Save button, and that's it. Your conference has been added here. Of course, from this list, you can also check all the entire list of conferences you have created so far, whether they are past or upcoming. You can check if you have any users joined, the duration, the timestamp, and you can also see the registered users. Now, you have the option, if you want to register the users on their behalf by hovering here, for example. Let's say manage users. You see I'm already in because I'm the moderator. And if I click add user, I can start adding people in this conference like this. So right now I have added 4 attendees. Now, once you have added your attendees, the message users button will appear, which you can click and send this invitation to those particular users. However, you can create sessions without any registered users. And if the learners would like to participate in any conference, just make sure to have the calendar option available from then. From here, they can check all the live events that will take place. And if they want to, they can click on an event, let's say this all hands meeting, and the join button will be here so they can join when the time comes. Of course, if they want to proactively include that to their own personal calendar so they can get the notification on time, click add to calendar so they can synchronize this event with their own personal calendar and get the notification from their phone. Now, as we said in our previous session, we demonstrated the gamification feature and how that looks like from the learner's perspective. It's another key point to increase the engagement for your learners. Now, with the gamification, training is more fun since the learner will experience the process as a game where they will earn badges, points, they will level up. So everything will be fun and the good competition will be promoted here. A good practice would be to set it up at the beginning because the gamification is not working retrospectively. And in order to do so, we'll need to switch as admins and go again to account and settings and gamification. Now, if you want to turn it off, you can do it from here, but by default is open. And here is the gamification setting we can do. Now, we can work with points. The points are rewarded to users when they complete certain learning activities, which you can enable from here. And of course, if you want to, you can customize the point system as well. Individually, you can turn the points off and work with the rest of the options. And this happens with all the elements here. We can also work with badges. The badges are basically the milestones that learners reach during this learning journey. Again, you can enable the type of badges that they will be able to learn. At this point, we cannot customize the milestones, but what we can customize is the set of badges. If you click here, you can find different badge collections like this. And of course, you can customize your own. If you click here, you can upload your own image, rename the badge, something fun for your learners, and then customize the entire collection. Further down, we can see levels. Users can upgrade within Talent LMS. And again, you will decide what would be how the users can increase their level, points, completed courses, or badges. And again, you can customize the values like this. And of course, the rewards, it's been disabled at the moment. But of course, as we said, we can disable individual elements here. This is ideal for people that sell courses within Talent LMS because you can offer discounts. So you can engage your users more into Talent LMS. On the statistics section, we find the leaderboard, which is the key point here to promote the good competition. Everybody wants to be number one, so they will need to check where they rank and who they compete with and how they can collect the points. Of course, you can turn it off, but if you decide to use it, you can decide what would be presented on that leaderboard. Levels, points, badges, but you can also do courses and certificates. And if at some point you would like to reset the statistics, you can do that for all the statistics or for specific ones. You can do that for all users or users that live in branches or in groups as well. Now, during our previous session, we also demonstrated how learners access their files. A quick clarification here, these type of files are not course files. They're files that are shared directly with a user. So in order to do that, just access a user, click Abby here, for example, and you see that there's the files tab available where you can upload files from here. And of course, if you want Abby, for example, to have access in those files, because you can keep also files and not sharing those files with the learner, just make sure that this button will be enabled. Of course, you can preview and download if you want to, or delete. Now, the learner will access these type of files from their profile. They can hover here, click My Files, and this is where they will find all the files. Now, what if you have a long list of users and you would like to share this type of files with them? As Anastasia demonstrated before, you can create a group or you can go in an existing group. So let's say, for example, that I want to share a certain file with a customer enablement group. If I click here, you see that the Files tab is also available. So you can also utilize the groups in case you want to share files on a group level and save time from sharing. Lastly, before I pass the mic to Anastasia, I think that it's worth mentioning here the announcements as an extra tip. I think that you might have noticed that all this time that I navigate within in the platform, you see this little banner, follow me all along. This is the internal announcement. And this is the option the Talent LMS gives you to share specific messages with your portal visitors. You can hype them up. You can share a welcome email, welcome note. You can share guidelines, anything you want to share with them after they log in. In order to do that, go to Account and Settings and Portal, and all the way down on the announcement section. Just click here, add your message, go back and save, and that announcement will be on the top of the page after they log in. What if you want to share some messages before the login? We have the external announcement also available. If you enable it, again, you will type in your message, you will go back and save, and that announcement will be visible before the login to all internet users. Now, if the user clicks the X button here, the announcement will go away, but by the time they log in, it will show up again. If they click OK, got it, they dismiss it. And another announcement will show up if only the admins have updated that message. For the external announcements, there's not any dismiss button. It stays there forever until the admins update that. And that is all the tips that I had to share with our visitors, with our attendees. Anastasia, what about yours?
Yes, let me share mine and also let me share my screen first. Okay, so there we go. My one of my first tips is about the certificates. Is another way to keep your users engaged with your Talent LMS portal. Certificates are a powerful motivator for learners. It's their own recognition of their course completion. And to add a certificate in a course, we need to go to courses. Okay, let's go to courses and click edit on a course. Okay, go to the course options that we did before. And now let's go to the certificate tab. Here we can select from the list of the available certificates, the one that we would like to add to this course. We can preview just to make sure that this is the one that we would like to add to this course and save. Okay, now something new uh, about certificates that has been recently released in the portal, and we know that lots of you have been waiting for this. Now we can mass assign a certificate to courses. From the courses list, now we have the option to select various courses, and with one click from the Mass Actions button, if we scroll a little bit further, just click the option to assign a certificate, and just with one click, we can assign a specific certificate to all the courses that we have selected. Again, we need to select from the list of the available certificates. Again, we can preview just to make sure that this is the one we would like to add and apply to add this certificate to all of our courses. Well, inside Talent LMS, you can find certificates to start with right away, but you can also, of course, customize your own with maybe the logo of your company to increase the engagement even more. To create a new certificate, just go to Account and Settings and select the Courses option. Scroll down, and you will find here the Certificates section. As soon as you click, you will find all the available certificates that we have ready for you to use. But of course, if you would like to customize and add your own, just click on the Add Certificate button, give it a name, and you can either select from the available templates that we have here or upload a background image for your customized certificate, so a customized background for your certificate, or you can also add the logo of the certificate of your company in one of our templates just by following the steps of the article that now our Theo will put in the chat on how to add the logo of your company into the HTML code here so that it will appear in the template that you selected to use. Okay, and let's move to another tip for our audience today. As Irene said before, communication is the key, right? That's why in Talent LMS, we can use notifications. We can set up notifications and have the system send automated emails to our users for different types of events, like, for example, reminders for upcoming deadlines, or when you add new course content to a course, or maybe celebrating key milestones like the certificate acquisition for leveling up, or just if you want to send a welcome email sharing general instructions and guidelines. Now, to create a notification, you need to go to the notifications option here, click here, and click the add notification button. Give your notification a name and select from the list of the available events that we have here. Today, to save time, I'm going to edit one of the already created notifications. And if you go right now to the notifications section in your portal, you will find already created notifications from the system. And they're there to help you get started with your portal. And today I'm going to edit this one, the new certificate that you also have available. This is where we celebrate when a user acquires a certificate. So the name of the notification is new certificate. The event is on certificate acquisition. And recipients are going to be all the related users, meaning all the users that are added to a course and acquire a certificate. And this is where we create the message that is going to be sent out to our users. Now, the first line of the message is going to be always the subject of the email that the users are going to receive. This notification is you have been awarded a certification, and then we have the rest of the message in the email. We see the congratulations, and then we see a text in squiggly brackets. These are dynamic fields that you can add from the smart tags list here. So this is going to be populated with relevant data of the related user first name. We continue with, you have just been awarded a certification for the course. There we will have the course name and view and download your certificate here. So you also have a smart tag that will give your learners the option to download their certification from inside the email that they're going to receive just by clicking on the certification URL here. And there you go. Just save, and we got it. One last thing now before we move into our Q&A, and this is a bonus tip. You can also increase the engagement of your users and create a more learner-centered environment by adding a survey unit in a course. Through the surveys, the learner will be able to answer a series of questions and share their own thoughts and feedback, which will make them feel very important and dedicated. Now, to create a survey unit into a Talent LMS course, let's go again to our courses. Again, click to edit our course. And this time we need to make sure that apart from administrators, we're also added as instructors inside the course so that we have access to click on the add button here. So click on the add button and from the learning activities, select the survey. Okay. Give now you need to give your survey unit a name. I'm going to go with the course satisfaction survey for this survey unit. And there we go. Maybe a little bit bigger since it's going to be the title of our unit. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. We can keep it like this. And now you have various options, and you can combine different type of questions, like, for example, multiple choice, where you can add the question and answers here. You can also use a free text, where you can add the question and the learner will answer freely with a paragraph. You can use the Likert scale option, where the learner can share their opinion through satisfaction scales, agreement scales, the frequency, any likelihood scales, and you can also create your own custom scale. Or you can also use existing questions from previous survey units that you have already created, and this is what we're going to do today. So if you have created a survey unit before, everything is saved into the system. So you can toggle here, and we have just added one question to our survey unit. Okay. Make sure as soon as you are done with the questions of your survey, make sure to publish the unit so that you will make it available to your learners. And there you have it. Of course, you will be able to take the feedback from the surveys, from the reports, from the learning activities reports. You can filter for the survey units. And if you click here, you will get a report with an overview of how many, well, some statistics about the replies of the users. And you also have the survey analysis, where you can check the answers of your users. And as all the reports in TalentLMS, you can export it or schedule it accordingly. And I think, Irini, it is time to go to our Q&A, right?
Yes, and I have a couple of questions that I would like to answer first because they're very interesting. So I will take over the screen sharing. In the meantime, you can gather the ones that you would like to answer. So we'll come back to you. So let me share my screen and let me start with the first question coming from an anonymous attendee who is asking how to split up leaderboards for different courses. Very interesting question. We cannot split the leaderboards based on courses because the leaderboard is common for the training environment where your courses live. And by training environment, uh, I'm talking about the portal. But what you can do is organize your users in branches. I'm just dropping an idea here. I don't know if this will be useful, but I'm just dropping an idea. You can utilize the branches, which are basically the sub portals that we can create within our main portal, and they can be customized differently. They act independently. And I'm talking about this dedicated button here. So when you create a branch, you basically create another sub portal, which will have a different leaderboard because branch members compete only branch members. So they cannot access the general leaderboard with all the list of users, just the ones that live in the branches. I don't know if this helps. However, if you would like to find out more information about this, please let us know. You can send us an email at success@talentlms.com and we will get back to you. And speaking of leaderboards, there's another question here, again from an anonymous attendee, how to customize the buttons in the learner's dashboard. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, and question about the leaderboards. Is it possible to turn off the gamification for some of my branches? Yes, we can do that, but with a workaround, because the gamification rules applies for all the portals that you have and the sub portals as well. However, if you want to turn it off, let's say for some particular branches, what we can do is go to account and settings and go to user types. Now you can either go to an existing learner type or you can create your own, and all you have to do is just turn off the gamification permission here like this, and save. And that means that the gamification will be running in the background, but whoever is assigned to this specific user type will not be able to see any results. So you can create a brand specific learner type without the gamification permission there and assign it to the brand's members. And since we're here, this is also the answer to the question of how to customize the buttons in the learner's dashboard coming from Jonathan. I want to remove the calendar. Yes, this is something that you can do from here. Again, uncheck the specific permission from a learner type, a custom one or the default one. And if I click save, for example, let's go on a learner type and impersonate so we can quickly check how this would look like. So yes, Alex is the perfect example here. I'm going to impersonate the user like this. And you see that the calendar option, sorry, is not available here, and anything related to gamification is not visible. No leaderboards, no nothing. Now, there's also another question. Let me just switch back to admin really quick. Coming from an anonymous attendee, sorry, from Mona. Are we able to create parent categories? Yes, Mona, we can create parent categories. Basically, when you go to account and settings and go to categories, when you start adding a brand new category, you basically create a parent one. Just click here, give your category a name, and that's it. Now, if you're looking for subcategories, just make sure to select the parent category from here, and there you have it. And of course, the list can go on and on. You can create subcategories of the subcategories and move on like this. And lastly, before I pass the mic to Anastasia, a question from an anonymous attendee. What support tricks do you have for participants that have language difficulties? No full translation of pages possible. Well, if you have users that are bilinguals and they feel more confident in a different language, if this is what you're asking from my understanding, you can instruct them to hover on their profile, hover on their name and go to their own profile. And if they scroll all the way down to the language section, you can change their language in here. Of course, this update will update the interface. It will not make any translation in the courses. Therefore, make sure to have courses also in that language for the convenience of that users. And just to give you a short demonstration, if I turn this into Greek, you see that everything has been translated in Greek. And of course, I can always switch back into English. Now, Anastasia, the floor is yours to answer your own questions.
Yes, thank you, Rini. We have very interesting questions today. Let me share my screen. Uh, okay. Sorry for that. Now I can share it. And let's go here. Okay. So, first question from an anonymous attendee is about notifications. So, simple course notification. How can instructors notify learners that they have a new course? I've been having a lot of problems with that. Learners never receive the communication that they have a new course. Okay, let's see that. So let's go to notifications and let's check the notification that we need to create, like the event for a course assignment. Okay, so we already have it here. So this is one when a user is added to a course, and I think that this is a default notification that you already have. So just make sure to go through the notifications in your portal and make sure that this one is active. But also let's take it together. So course assignment. X hours after course acquisition, So some hours after a user has acquired the course, or you have added a user to a course, they're going to receive this notification. This can be changed, like if you don't want to wait for 24 hours for the user to be notified, just make sure to make it like like 1 hour after you add them to a course, and make sure that the recipient is related user, and the message to be clear, like you have been added to a course, and hey, related user first name, you have just been added to the course. So please visit this course and get started. Happy learning. Now, if you want to check if this notification is triggered, because notifications will be triggered when the event that you have set is met, you can do it by going to, sorry, let's save it. So you can go to check it on the History tab. This is where you have all the notifications that have been sent out from your portal. So to make sure that the users, that the notification has been triggered, just search for either the subject or the recipient's email to make sure that the notification has been triggered. Okay, and if you have active the notification but still is not getting triggered, or users are not receiving it, make sure to send us your issue at our email, so success@talentlms.com, so we can troubleshoot a little bit further. Okay, I hope I have answered your question, and let me go to another one. Okay. Now, this is from uh, Daryl. Okay. Could you do a pre and post course questionnaire through surveys to monitor effectiveness of a course? Yes, you can do that. As we saw before, you can add um, um, you can add a survey, and you can maybe want to add like a survey before the users start with a course. So, for example, let's add really quick our survey here and just name it like, as you said, like uh, pre-course, like pre-course questionnaire really quick, and just select, well, let's select like the existing answer, and there we go, and publish it, of course, to make it available. And we can just grab it once it's done and move it here. So before our users are going to start with the main content of your course, they can start with a questionnaire first. So this is going to be the first course unit they're going to see, a quick questionnaire. And then you have the main content. So the content that you would like to share with the users, and then you just make a course satisfaction survey, as we have done here, to complete the course with this survey. So there you go. You have in one course a pre a questionnaire for before taking the course, and one after they have gone through the content of the course. Hope that helped, Daryl. And let me move to another one from Imana. Is it possible to divide a course into multiple sections and assess them separately without needing to create a new course for each? A drop-down option to select different topics would be helpful. Okay. Now, about the drop-down option, this I would like maybe for you to elaborate a little more. You can also do it by sending an email to success@talentlms.com. But let's discuss a little bit more about the sections that you mentioned. Okay, so same way as we can add different content in one course, we can also add sections. So if we have, for example, a long course, we can make it a little bit more easy for our users to find the the content that they are going through sections. So the same way, click add, but then now you don't go to standard content or learning activities, you go to more, and you will find here the option for the sections. So you can rename the section, Let's name it as introduction. Okay, or since we have created a survey, let's name this section like pre-course section, something like this. So save. Now, the section is down here, but again, we can just grab it and move it here. Okay, and then we can create another section. It's created again here, rename it, and just make it main course. Grab it and move it after the pre-course questionnaire. And you can keep adding sections. You can also add a section like for like post training survey, and you can add it before these units. And now you have a more structured course for your users that is going to be easy to go through. Another tip for sections, since we are at this point, is that you can also um, delay the availability. So, if, for example, you want the users to first take the questionnaire and then after 1 day start with the main content so that you can also check their answers, you can do that by adding the section and just clicking here to delay availability. Make it so delayed by some hours or 1 day. Okay, 1 day, save delay. And now this content, so as soon as the users will enter the course, they will see the pre-course questionnaire, they will take it, and after 1 day, the rest of the content will be available for them. Uh, and let me see if I have any more. Okay, I have one more, Irini, before we end. So I have the one about the groups. Okay, let's see that. This is a question from coming from Mary. So can we set up a group and assign it in many branches? Okay. You can add a group, so a group that is created inside your main domain, you can add it only to one brands. So for example, if I go to the customer enablement group that I have created, I can here select just one brands and save. So this means that this group is going to be available only to my internal brands. However, there is a workaround if you want to use a group for multiple branches. You can use it as a default group. So from account settings and users, we have seen how we can add the default group for the main domain. Okay, and we have used our soft skills group. Now, if we go to the branches, you will see that, let's go to the internal one. You can also add a default group here to each one of the branches. And this time you can again select the soft skills group and save. This is the only way that you can share a group between branches. Okay, so Irini, back to you.
I think
Think-
that's a wrap, Anastasia. We have
Yes,
answered all the questions, and Theo has done a great work answering questions during the session. So, thank you all for joining today. I'm sure that there will be more questions, especially after you check the recording. So, feel free to send us an email at success@talentlms.com. And of course, we're very excited to see your comments like every time. So feel free to do so by following the link posted in the chat by Theo. And again, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Theo, for answering all the questions in the background. And thank you, Anastasia, for being so thorough.
thank you, Irini. Thank you, everybody. And until next time.
Until next time, happy training.